Hello everyone, today we're talking about exponent laws. So let's go over the list and see if you understand them all. The first one is x to the power of m times x to the power of n. When you have a multiplication between two of the same base, we will be adding their exponents. Likewise, for number two, if we have division occurring between two powers where they have the same base, then we will rewrite it, which you could, you don't have to, but you end up getting them to be subtracting in the exponent, like so. Number three, if you have x to the m in brackets, and that bracket is being powered by n, then that's going to tell you to multiply your exponents. So always be careful about those brackets. Likewise, for number four, if you have x over y in brackets to the power of m, every item in that bracket gets powered up. Number five, same idea. If it's x times y inside of the brackets, every item inside that bracket gets powered up. Our favorite here is number six, where anything to the power of 0 is equal to 1, except 0 to the power of 0, that is undefined. For number seven, we have x to the power of -1. A reminder here is that the negative exponent only reciprocates or flips the base. It doesn't change the sign of the base. That is the key thing to remember. Only to reciprocate or flip the base only. Number eight is a variation of number seven. So if x to the power of -m, again, the negative would flip the base and then power up the x value. So in this case, you can even power up first, like x to the m, and then you would hold -1 on the power, and then you would then flip it. So you end up with 1 over x to the m. Our last one here is number 9, where we have x to the power of a fraction, like m over n. In this situation, the numerator is known as the power, and the denominator is known as the index, or the root that you'll be using. So you can write in two ways. You can either power up first, so x to the m, and then root that item with an index of n, or you can first index or root it first, and then power that result afterwards. Now we're going to practice a couple of questions that a lot of students tend to make errors on. I want you to give this a try, and as we go through the answers, let's see if you get each of these correctly. So here's the first one. We have -3 squared. Notice that there are no brackets here. So we see 1, 2, and 3. They're kind of related to each other, but we'll see if you fall for the common error that people make or if you get the right answer. All right, so for the first one, you should be getting something like this. The negative is held by itself because the power of 2, or the exponent of 2, is being applied only to the base of 3 in this example. So you should be getting -3 times 3. So the answer would be -9. So from the first one, you can see that bracket versus no bracket, there will be a difference. Let's take a look at example number 2. Notice that in this one, you have -3 in brackets, and then that's being squared. So the base is actually acting on everything in the bracket this time. So this would be -3 times -3. So this would give us +9. For number 3, if you understood how 1 and 2 works, we can then apply those same logics here. The negative in front is just held in the front, and the power of 2 is being applied to the in brackets -3. So we're going to have two copies of in brackets -3. We see here that there are three negative signs, so our ending answer should be -9. Number 4. So similar idea here. We have 5 to the power of -2. So again, take some time, think about what the answer should be, and we'll check our answer in a moment. So just a reminder here that the exponent is negative. Remember, this basically causes the base to flip. So we always tell students to flip the base first. So 5 is 5 over 1. If I flip that, we'll get 1 over 5 squared. So when we use off the negative exponent, all we're doing is flipping the base, and then we can rewrite this as 1 over 5 times 1 over 5, giving us an answer of 1 over 25. Now you can convert this into decimal format, but normally we like to leave in fractions as it's more accurate. Take a look at number 5. See what you get this time. So, similar idea, right? The negative is held on the outside. Again, the exponent is only being applied to the base directly below it, which is the 5. So once again, we'll then apply by reciprocating the base, squaring it, and we get negative 1 over 25 for this one here. Let's take a look at the next couple ones. So again, similar idea here. Take a look at number 6. We have negative bracket negative 5 to the power of negative 2. Give it a moment, try that out. So for this one, we see that the base here is negative 5. Again, the negative on the outside, we just hold it. The exponent only applies to what's in the brackets. So we're going to flip it to get negative 1 over 5. You can put the negative sign either on the side, the top, or bottom. It doesn't matter. It is all equal. Power of 2. And then if we do this, this will be negative, again, negative 1/5 times negative 1/5. In total here, we see 3 negative signs, so we should be getting negative 1 over 25. The next one, we have the fractional exponent, 81 to the power of 1/2. So remember here that the numerator is the power, and the denominator is the index or root. So in this situation here, normally you can either root first or power up then root. For this one, it doesn't really matter. So we can go 81 square rooted, because square root index is 2, all that to the power of 1. So the square root of 81 is just going to be 9, and 9 to the power of 1 is just 9. For number 8, we have negative 81 to the power of 1/2. So think about what that one should be. So again, we have negative held on the outside. The 1/2 power is being applied to the 81 only. So once again, we can just write it as the square root of 81 to the power of 1. And this would give us negative 9 to the power of 1, which is just negative 9 as a result. Our last two questions here. Number 9 here says 27 to the power of 2/3. So for this one, let's take a look. 27 to the power of 2/3. So for this one, I would actually like to root it first because it shrinks down the number and then power it up. Given that we don't have a calculator, you can see here that if I power it up first, then I would have this gigantic number that I have to try and cubic root, which wouldn't be very easy. So for this first part, I'm going to cubic root it first. So 27 cubic root, and then we square the whole thing afterwards. So the cubic root of 27 would be 3, and then I square it to give us 9. The last question, give this a try. We have negative 9 to the power of 5 over 2. So preferably, you could power it up first and then root it, but then you see negative 9 to the power of 5 is a very big number. So preferably, I might want to root it first and then power it up after. So let's take a look at what we should get. If we root it first, so negative 9 square rooted, and then we power it up to the power of 5, remember with square roots that there is restrictions. So the rule is that you cannot square root a negative number. So for this one here, you should end up with no solution. Thank you for watching. I hope you found it useful. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more content. And I'll see you in the next one.